McCarthy, author of The Morning Miracle for Parents and Families. We've been talking about the family meeting. Day one, we start about just explaining what one is. And day two, we started talking about how to set it up. And now we're talking about how do we actually implement these family meetings? Because some of your kids might be resistant or not sure you aren't sure how to get them to the table. And so Lindsay is going to take it from there.
Sure. I think one thing we talked about was renaming the meeting, first of all. Like, no one really likes to come to a meeting. So step one, change the name. Step two, a trick that works for us is bring snacks to the meeting. So, everybody loves snacks. So, just make the meeting more fun and friendly. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious. We have friends who they actually do their family meeting while walking the dog. So, they've integrated exercise into their family meeting. And, there's no wrong way to do it.
We've also done a number of family meetings in the car because everyone's in one spot together.
Yeah,
which makes it easy. One of the things we've also done is with the littler kids is we'll have a bin of toys, of fidget toys or things that they can only use at the table. Just keep them going. I know my husband still feels for him, it's harder for him because he thinks if they're not listening and they're fidgeting that they're not paying attention. But I personally don't think that's true. So it might be something you guys need to work out, or which toys are appropriate for that don't feel like they're not participating in the meeting. So just something to think about when you're picking those things, but definitely snacks. And one of the things I've learned is we were trying to do, a lot of times we would do it on Sundays. We try to do it like after breakfast or something, but they've already been sitting a while for a meal. That sometimes it was better if we, just went away for a while and came back for a snack and then had the snack while the meeting was happening. The meeting seemed to go a little bit better. But so we tried to do right after a meal, but that didn't always go well. And so we definitely need to also work on making a different name. One of the things we do for our implementation is we have a notebook. And so most times I'll take notes or try to write some of the stuff down. Sometimes it's just for my memory, but we don't always use that. We definitely have the big calendar to show, so I can make sure that that's on the wall. It matches my phone, so we are all on the same page on what the schedule is for the week. And for us, like I said in the last one, we also use our lunch schedule because the kids do get cold, hot lunch, have the option. And so we will see which days they like the food, which days they don't. So we have that printed out. So it's not a question in the morning of what to do. You were also talking about your schedule and things and how you used to use a whiteboard or something and when you set up your meetings.
So we've kind of gone through iterations. We used to have a whole wall that was a whiteboard in our house, and we would do our family meetings on there so we could see everybody's goals listed out. So they were kind of front and center. As the kids got older, we kind of moved away from that, and now they have notebooks that they bring to the meeting, and they write down their own goals and their high point moments and gratitudes for the week. But I think having something in front of them, so either a fidget or a notebook where they can doodle or draw or write, is always a good idea.
And I was liking how you have the kids actually writing some of the things that they want to partake in the meeting, which I know I haven't done yet. And I think that might be a good idea because some of my kids do like to write. So it's just something to think about, that they could write down their goals or they could be responsible for their own stuff if your kids are at that point, but something to think about.
Yep.
And so honestly, the implementation is totally up to you, just trying to give you some different ideas to do it. The main thing is basically just to have that conversation, pick a time and share your ideas so that you guys are all on the same page rather than thinking you are and you're not really on that page. And the last tip that I have for you guys on the implementation is look at that calendar and figure out which days of the week that you're going to be home versus which days you need to cook. You're going to be getting out food. It helps with how much groceries to get. It helps to get, for our kids, they have to take snacks to school. So then they get to say which snacks are low. We actually throw all those at the meeting. A lot of those items go directly onto Alexa, onto the shopping list. So that's already done. And it's already so much easier that I'm not doing that all myself. Because that was one of the reasons why I was so taken with Lindsay's idea, because a lot before that, I was trying to figure out the groceries. I was trying to figure out which meals. And then a lot of times I just get to the grocery store and wing it. And then all of a sudden I had way too many groceries. And I was like, what did I do? And we're not even going to eat half this stuff. So really planning out the week gives you those options. And so we just encourage you to implement how it works for you and take some of these ideas that work for you that sound interesting, try them. And so thank you for joining us today. Tomorrow we will be looking at how to figure out what works for you. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Thank you. I think we kind of just answered tomorrow's question. So how to implement a family meeting. I think the biggest things are just to schedule it.